Justin Herbert had definitely a big fall from where the ADP was last year at this point, where he was a guy that was kind of that top 5 QB coming off the board in a lot of cases. But last season, a little bit of a disappointing one in an injury shortened season. 456 attempts, 297 completions, 3,134 yards, 20 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 52 rushing attempts for 228 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. Thoughts on Justin Herbert?
Herbert is a guy that I'm staying away from this year in redraft leagues. Like I'm not quite sure how this is going to look with Harbaugh's offense. I'm not quite sure how this is going to look with the lack of established pass catchers. I'm not quite sure how this is going to look with a new running back room. Um, there's too many unknowns. And he has all the arm talent in the world, but he also has a propensity to get dinged up, right? And he played through a lot, right? But his first year missed 2 games. Then he made full seasons, but he still got dinged up. Last year missed 5 games, was dinged up in and out. So not only do I not know what's going on with the offense, he does just get nicked a little bit more. Now, part of that's the porous offensive line play. I do think Harbaugh helps fix that in LA with the Chargers. So I do think that inherently does get better. And again, all the arm talent in the world, but I want to know who he's going to throw the stinking ball to.
So all we've seen out of Justin Herbert is regression from year 2, right? Really year 1 and year 2. He burst onto the scene year 1 in 2020, which, as we all know, probably wasn't a great measuring stick, right? Because of all of the craziness that was 2020, right? Like that was a crazy year. No fans in the stands. Like it just, there was a lot. And then he backs it up in 2021, right? Backs it up with a really good year, career year, 38 touchdowns, 15 picks, like bursts, like really 5,000 yards. It was really a great year. And then it's just been regression from there. Yards were okay in 22. Touchdowns were down by 13. As were picks. And he quit running.
Right? He had the ankle issue, right? So
right.
He lost
so rushing yards
of his down. Rushing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Rushing touchdowns, 0, right? Like he didn't run at all. And then again, we see another regression in 2023. And now that's probably why he's got himself a new head coach there, because his play hasn't been as good as it was, the previous 2 years.
Right. Like the receiving core is a big question mark. My bigger question mark is what this offense is really going to look like, even outside of the personnel, coming from the scheme and the coaching decisions that are going to be taking place, right? Like they brought in Greg Roman to be the offensive coordinator. Yeah, I'm trying to think back to a time where we've seen Greg Roman have a quarterback that has, really the arm talent that Justin Herbert has. And I'm kind of drawing a blank, right? Most of his offenses focus around heavy mobile quarterbacks and quarterbacks that truly are truly dual threat, have the ability to hurt you with their legs as much as they do with their arms, right? Like, we just saw him, what that looked like with Lamar Jackson, right? Before that, it was Tyrod Taylor in Buffalo. Before that, in San Francisco with Kaepernick, right? Like all of these guys, they were, that offense was designed around run schemes and having the quarterback be an extension of the run game and all of these designed run plays and everything else in that. I just don't know how Justin Herbert necessarily fits into that and how they're going to build this offense around what his talents are. So that's also part of that just giant question mark that leads me going, I don't know that I want really any part of this come draft day.